Welcome to Last Two Pages, a podcast where two best friends who love to read just can't keep it to themselves. I'm Teresa.
And I'm Megan. And on this episode, we will be talking about why we started this podcast and our journeys with reading.
Wow.
Welcome, everyone.
We're here. It has been a long time coming. Maybe not to any of you, but to us.
How many times do you think we've recorded this episode?
This episode? The first episode? Well, we scrapped everything. See, here's the thing. We want what we put out to be something good. Mm-hmm. So that means we've done this.
We've done this first episode like 6-7 times.
This might be the 7th.
Great.
Not to mention the other episodes that we filmed that we already scrapped.
Yeah. Yep. We've spent several weekends trying to figure out how this was all going to work, and it's feeling pretty good.
I finally do feel like we're at a place. This could be crap, but this is what it's going to be because that's what life's about. We never lose. We learn.
Real.
Exactly.
Those are real words. So some of you might not know, but me and Teresa have been friends for a very, very long time.
Okay. Megan did not like me.
No.
For how many years?
I was a goody two-shoes, and Teresa was not that at all.
I was not a goody two-shoes. Wait, what? We met at our church's youth group.
We met before that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, when we were both homeschooled.
No, before that.
Kindergarten?
I knew you from kindergarten. Maybe you didn't know me, but
I was in my own lane. I got pulled out of kindergarten. Then I was homeschooled for the next few years because apparently I had issues with authority, or something like
something
that.
I'm just not sure. No. So yeah, I met Teresa at Vacation Bible School.
What?
There's pictures of us at Vacation Bible School together.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember her as the girl who acted as a boy. I don't know how else to put it, but it was very much like we're getting rowdy with the boys. Not like I wasn't, but you were on another level. Like
I have 3 brothers, and that's
I was
what
afraid
it
you'd bite me. Like that's the level of
I probably would have. I know I have bit you.
You'd
before.
like run on your hands and knees or hands and feet, like
a horse. I don't remember that.
We've met Teresa.
Maybe I blacked it
I've
out.
known Teresa for a really long time. So it's
wait.
great
So
that
how
we're
long
doing
would you
this
say
now.
that is? Like 18
I would say
years, 19 years.
I met you when I was 6. So probably
I was
18
5.
years.
Whoa! I guess I don't remember a time without you.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've gone on little breaks in our friendship, but
this
I feel
is
like
true, but we didn't become friends until high school.
I know. Yeah. We were like within each other's circles.
Yeah.
Until high school, I'd say.
We went to separate middle schools. We saw each other at our church youth group and went on various trips and camps together.
I'd say we had fun together, but it wasn't like
we wouldn't gravitate towards each other immediately.
We had different friend groups.
Yeah. You were in your homeschool girl era, and I was in...
That's so toxic. You say that.
That's the truth. You can't even deny it. What did you wear to school freshman year when you'd been homeschooled for the past many years?
No. If we're going to do that, we need to talk about your wardrobe in high school.
We can talk about both of them.
So,
hey, I don't think yours was...
My first day of high school, I decided I'd show up stunting on these hoes. I wore a pair of penny loafers that were black and flat to the ground. Like my feet, between this leather and rubber sole, like my foot was flat on the ground. If you know me, that is not the style of shoe I wear nowadays. And then I wore dress pants, like full on corporate mommy dress pants.
And you're what, 14?
And I wore a bright red, like church camp t-shirt on top. With straightened hair, but my hair was wet that morning, obviously, because I showered in the morning.
Pre-glasses Megan too.
Pre-glasses Megan. Bad look all around. And so my hair was crimpy in the back because I straightened it when it was wet. Why would I do that? So that was my first look in high school. So I had a lot of friends, obviously, but the thing about our high school is that on one, like, what's the word? everyone basically came to our one high school, but we had several different middle schools. I think there were like you could come from 5 different middle schools if you didn't move here. So everyone assumed
I don't know.
that people came from a separate middle school, you know? So it wasn't like I was the new kid because I wasn't homeschooled anymore.
You're like,
it was like
some other bitch.
Oh, this person must have gone to the other school. Where Teresa, I remember your wardrobe very specifically. Do you want to share that with the class?
It was, so this church camp we went to, my dad runs it. So we have all the merch and our whole household is just overflowing with it. And so every day it would be a variation of the sweatpants from this camp, a church t-shirt of some kind. I was like identified as the girl with big boobs in the church shirt. Like someone was like, I don't want to be rude, but this girl, they knew who I was. And my hair was up every day. And the shoes, Crocs.
I was going to say the Crocs.
That stays true to this day. We're still a Croc family, and I am proud of that.
It was the like 3-year-old fuzzy socks that were like slightly crimped from the dryer with the Crocs. Like that was, and you tuck your sweatpants into those socks.
And then my halflingers in the winter, and no one knew what those were, how to handle. They're my, like, I call them my winter Birks because they're cork bottomed and they're like wool on top.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about now.
I wear those all winter.
And
then
so yeah, we first knew each other. I'd say like we identified each other in high school.
As like a church friend.
Yeah, where we were like, okay, this could be a friendship of some sort, right? I would say that. We like ended up becoming a part of the same circle. How would you describe that?
When? What?
As like we are into high school now.
Oh, okay. I would say freshman year, yeah, we still chatted. Mm-hmm. And then sophomore year when we got into theater, I've been told I still give off theater kid energy sometimes, and part of me dies a little when I hear that, but I get it. It's kind of hardwired into us. Yeah. Hardwired. And yeah, we joined the same friend group, got real toxic. That friend group disbanded.
High school does. High school just gets toxic.
Choir and theater were our kind of
where we originated. Yeah.
And then we had this little trio our senior year. Love her. Shout out. And then we were roommates our freshman year of college.
We were roommates.
Oh my gosh.
And then the next year we decided not to be roommates because I was studying abroad. So we kind of like separated, and then I only slightly studied abroad. We can talk about that later.
Shout out.
Because it was the year of COVID. So that ended up being fine. But then the year after that, we had a falling out.
Didn't talk for the summer.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to live with each other the next year, and that's where we were like
the drama.
We didn't know how it would be. And then that's where forced proximity comes into play for both of us. Because then we had to live together because we signed leases, and we just didn't talk about it until randomly one Tuesday we got it all out in the air, and it went.
I remember it was a snowy, beautiful day.
It was so sunny out.
It was
we
great.
In the living room. It was great.
Yeah. And so we got through it, and then we lived together that year, and then I moved out. It was just too big of a house for me.
Yeah, you moved into an apartment, and I stayed in that house with a bunch of friends from my major. And here we are 2 years later.
Oh, still friends.
Yeah.
Closer than ever, I'd argue.
This is true.
This is great.
And in that, what was really fun is that whole year we were living together in our second house or second place. That's when Megan first read ACOTAR.
So my reading journey began when I was younger, but I'd say, same. I guess I really just want to kind of go into like how books brought us together rather than our whole reading journey. I feel like that's something for another podcast.
I mean, we both kind of just had like the middle school series. In middle school we read a bunch. Like I was into Harry Potter and random historical fictions, and you were into 39 Clues and The Book Thief. Oh,
Action
we kind of wait.
Yeah,
we both had our books.
Yeah, and that was great. It was really fun. I feel like there wasn't really anything that notice, like nothing noteworthy. I guess I was embarrassed to read in high school because I felt like it was really like I was afraid to be myself. Shocker, in high school.
You mean the penny loafers weren't you?
No. So I have quite a few arcs in high school. Had blue hair, had not blue hair.
Have a few arcs.
I had quite a few like character arcs in high school.
K-pop
and so
dance
I was
group.
embarrassed to be myself. And so I kind of kept reading to myself. But I had a copy of These Broken Stars that I kept in my backpack every day.
What? Really?
That's why that copy I have is so beat up. So that's a book that's really close to my heart because of that. Like every day I had that book on me.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So the whole spine is like full of tape and there's spills all over in my original copy. The cover for the hardcover, what is that called?
The hard shell?
No.
Wait.
The
jacket?
the paper.
The
The
dust
jacket. Jacket.
Is it a dust jacket?
Dust jacket is missing. No idea where that went. So
R.I.P.
Yeah. So that was really important to me. But I would say that my reading journey in terms of being openly bookish was through ACOTAR. I read that series. I got Silver Flames because I thought that was going to be the everyone was talking about it. You know, it's 2021. What am I going to do? Oh, I'll read that orange book that everyone's talking about. Turns out not the first book in the series.
What?
So I read like maybe 3 chapters and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I started researching as you do. And I'm like, oh, this is the 5th book of a really long series. Great. Good start. So then I bought every book and read each one every day. And I waited by the mailbox because they all kind of came in order. So I read the first one, ordered the second one 3 chapters in. Then I waited by the front door for the mail carrier to bring the second book and then ordered it was like a cycle. I was like, I'll reward myself with buying a new book. Why did I do that? I could have just gone to Barnes and Noble and bought them all.
That was your era of not leaving the house, though. Like, if
I
you
did
didn't
not.
have
I was
to,
so
you
afraid of
would
leaving the
not.
house. Yeah, I was really sad. It was sad of me. So yeah, I read ACOTAR and then I started reading a bunch of books. I kind of went ballistic and just
as you do
exploded. And I didn't create a bookstore at that time. That was it was in the spring.
Did you join that book club before that?
No. Good point. So I joined the Valkyrie Book Club from, I think I saw it on Instagram or it was something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I have to join. So Matea, the Mirrorball, created this group and we all started talking about From Blood and Ash. That was the second series that I had read. That was like a huge series.
Jennifer.
And so I think that was around the same time. I swear they all kind of happened at the same time around that fall when I gave you ACOTAR. So I loaned you all the books.
She did. And because I read a lot in middle school, but through high school it was kind of and then I just was too anxious to even like do anything besides school and work. And then my junior year was that junior year or was that senior year? No, that was senior year. My senior year of college.
Oh, yep, you're right. You're absolutely right.
She said you should. She gave me a quart of Misted Fury for my birthday. Oh, that was the next year. Sorry. No, she lent me her beloved ACOTAR because I don't even know why you lent it to me. Were you just like, I need someone else near me to read this?
I think I was genuinely like, if you don't read this, like, my life's over. I need someone in person to talk to about this.
And then
and everyone was talking about it too. So I was like, you would really like this. I know you're like a huge fantasy fan. Teresa's a big Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm a big movie gal.
I was like, you'd really like this.
And I devoured it. I read it so quick. I took Silver Flames with me. I took her copy of Silver Flames with me on our family vacation to Hawaii. And it got a little water damage. I bought it from her. It's fine. I got her a new one. Wait, wow. I'm like,
let it be known, I have lent you books after you water damaged my copy of Silver Flames.
And
so I trust you.
They have all been in one piece. And honestly, Silver Flames wasn't that damaged. It was just like, it wasn't. It was
not
just
damaged to you. Think of my bookshelf.
You put a dust jacket on it and call it a day. It was literally fine. It was just whatever.
My God.
You have a new one. You're fine.
I do.
And I have it on my bookshelf, and I just
It's
think
like
about
a special bonding moment for us.
reading it on the beach on Oahu. Like, come on, Nessa and Cassie, and being. I started it on the flight over there, and I finished it a few days in, and then I just reread it immediately after, and I was like,
big fan.
This is where it ends.
Of Nessian, yeah.
And then after that, I only read like 3 books till graduation, and then right when I graduated, I dug in, and all I did was read, and I think I read like 60 books by the end of that year. And
she surpassed me in every way, like in terms of reading until recently.
I can just binge.
It's actually terrifying when you binge books. Like you read Throne of Glass in how long?
Well, I had to, besides the days I was waiting for a book to come in, I think in total it was like 16 days.
How many pages do you think are in that series in total?
I know it's more than the Bible.
I would assume that.
Brittany Broski found that out. And I think it's like a few hundred at least.
Considering the last book is 900 pages.
I was alone at my cabin though while I read Throne of Glass, and because I read it that summer after I read Akatar, and Throne of Glass immediately became my favorite after that. It came to me in a time in my life where I like needed something like that. I was mentally in a garbage fire. And then Miss Selena Sardathian came through, helped me out as she should. I was just at my cabin. I would go to bed. I would wake up, read for a few hours, maybe consume breakfast, read for a few more hours, have a snack, read for a few more hours, maybe say hi to my grandma, come back, read until like 2 a.m. and then start that cycle over. So I got through Throne of Glass so I think I got through the tandem in a day and a half.
That's actually insane. I did not know you got through that in a day and a half. That one took me months. Because I was still in school because of the whole like fiasco with me studying abroad. Fiasco. So I was still in school. Is it fiasco?
Yes, you said fiasco.
Fiasco.
Ascot.
With studying abroad, I had to continue with school a little longer than I had thought, and so you have to carry those 2 books everywhere. And I think like together they're like 1,600 pages. So carrying that in my tote bag was not.
It was your whole what's the word?
Personality?
Yeah. For that time. Which makes sense because doing the tandem read, you're like, whoa. And I'll always suggest the
Those
tandem.
books are fantastic. I think through that, we kind of came to this point. We created our bookstagrams throughout that. And I have a bookstagram called The Blonde Registry.
She had it way before me, but she had a year longer than me. But she was like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I said, yay. Okay, fine. And then I was like, okay. And then when I did it, it was really nice because it was after I graduated college and I got an art minor, and so it was a new way for me to have an art outlet, because that's one of my favorite parts about Bookstagram is like doing the layout, adding my little trinkets.
Everyone has a different way of like presenting their Bookstagram to the world, and I think that's really cool. So you and I both have very different aesthetics, but at least in my eyes we have different aesthetics, but we both have a different way of talking to our audiences.
We have the same brand, different flavors. I think is how I'd put it.
That's totally fair.
Like we're all under the Pepsi range, you know, like you're Mountain Dew and I'm
not sponsored.
Root beer. Wait, that's not a
Teresa
Pepsi
did not
product.
get a business major.
No, I didn't. People call mine the camp counselor degree, and honestly,
you be counseling the youth.
Here's a tree. Go look at it. Smell it. Taste it. Touch it.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about it? Oh. There was a class I had where we were learning about the different types of wood in the forest, and my teacher just handed out, he said, close your eyes, and then gave everyone like a piece or chunk of wood, and we had to just like feel it, smell it, bite it. If we wanted to. I did, obviously.
I was going to say, you were the only one in your group who bit it.
And then we figure out what it is from that. And I got cedar, so I knew that one. Because it smells yummy and tastes just as good.
Awesome. Awesome. So Teresa eats wood. Good to know.
Hey, me and those beavers, we get along.
It's very your vibe. You're a beaver.
beaver.
You're a beaver girly.
I once had a wonderful experience with a beaver. I drove up to a pond where that had a beaver house on it, and I just always sit there and look at the beaver house and hope that the beaver's swimming.
Mhm.
And then I turn off my four-wheeler and I just hear and I'm like, where is it? What's this noise? And then like 5 feet away from me is this beaver just having a little snack of a stick. And I just got to sit there and watch it for like 10 minutes. It was great. I like cried a little. It was so fun. Me and this beaver. I even like, it was so like, it was a wonderful moment. I'd never been that close to just like a wild beaver that's just like, and I like said something to it and it did not care at all.
You have a beautiful way of looking at the world.
Hey, me and this beaver, it didn't care I was there, and I love that I got to see it eat that little stick.
Mm-hmm.
And then it swam away and went whoosh.
Real.
Then I drove back.
I think we created this podcast through our love of books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm moving away from the beavers. I'm sorry. Did you want to continue talking about the beavers?
No, that was actually complete. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. So we created this podcast as a way for us to just talk to all of you. Maybe you guys want to hear about what we have to say about books. I don't know. I feel like we have some good opinions.
And I think we just like to share our opinions.
Yeah.
Or do silly things. People said they would like to hear a podcast from me, and that was not something I ever expected to hear.
Mm-mm.
And so then I started thinking, and I was like, wait, this could be actually really fun. And then in a week, I think I had like 5 people asking me if I was going to start a podcast. And I was like, whoa, what? And I was like, me and Megan should do that because that would be so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it's been fun. It's been a transition.
We've been learning a lot and learning a lot about ourselves.
Yeah. And how we work in
a non-cringy way, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just in a way that's like, oh, we have developmental like pieces of our lives that we could work towards to be better.
Yeah. And being in a somewhat business setting, I guess you could say. Or more businessy. Just something that we've never had to work together for something like this. And so that's been fun to do, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
That's so sweet.
Because, I don't know, we can say crap to each other and we don't take it personally.
No. We're very comfortable with having different opinions.
This is true.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing she could say to me that you could say to me that would really shock me anymore. We've gotten through that. We've known each other for, what did we say, 18 years?
Weird. That's bizarre.
So I don't think that there's anything that you could say.
Probably
that
only
really
liked
would
you
shock
for about
me.
8
Considering
of
we're
those years.
both, I mean, I'm almost 24, and that's like, that's so much of my life that I've known you.
I've known you my whole life that I can remember.
When we gained sentience back when we were 7.
I was wondering that last night. I was like, when did I first ever sit there and go, I'm a person and other people are their own person. And when I sit here and think, that's my brain going zzz, zzz.
Do you have electroshock therapy happening in your brain all the time?
There's electricity up there.
There is.
And ever since I've been able to do that, I've known you.
That's so sweet.
Wow. Look at
love
us.
that. I know. I feel like I'm very blessed to have you in my life, Teresa.
Aww.
Not in an ushy-gushy kind of way, but just like,
in an ushy-gushy kind of way.
Real. Okay. Well, I'm really thankful for you as my friend. And I feel like this will be really fun.
Same Z's. I agree. I agree.
The emotional one of us is trying to.
No, I'm better writing my emotions than I am speaking them.
A love letter. I expect it. Next episode, I'll be reading your love letter to me.
I could do that.
No, don't do that.
Can I like perfume the page to like a Dear John
Kiss
letter?
it.
Oh, I give it a little, yeah. Some pink paper.
You should put a piece of your hair in it too, so I could like clone you or something.
I'll give you a lock of my hair.
A swab of your cheek.
A swab of my cheek?
You know they do that at the doctor?
Yeah, but like, what are you going to do with that?
Secret.
Clone me?
Maybe.
Okay, if we're in the Clone Wars, can you make all of the soldiers me then? Because you'll obviously be the one alive. I won't
We
be.
can't have all the soldiers have a dumpy. That would be.
That's not what I got. What's a dumpy in the front? Wait.
A frumpy.
Oh, no. Teresa's got a frumpy. What's a crumpet?
Like a biscuit. Like teas and crumpets.
What about that one girl that like sat on a crumpet? Wait, did she sit on a crumpet or did she eat a crumpet? You know, Little Miss Muffet? That's what I'm talking about.
I think she sat on one. I don't remember.
On a
that
crumpet?
nursery. Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum. Do, 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 do. What are we reading right now?
What are you reading right now,
I
Teresa?
am reading 39 Clues. It kind of is just what I needed out of my big book slump. And even though it's taken me like a month to read, I'm finally to the 6th book of, well, what I know of is 10, but there's like other series, but I don't know what those are about yet because I still don't even know how these 39 Clues ends. And it is honestly a really good series to read whenever. It's really short. They're high-paced adventure mystery clues. I love it. And I think they'd be really good for middle school readers too, which is who they're for. And what's cool is that it's a whole bunch of authors. And that is something we want to be better at, is saying authors to books. And further down in this podcast, we want to be making sure we're saying that.
You're so eloquent sometimes. I just love it.
I know, my brain stopped. I thought you were going to say something.
We already had talked in between shooting this podcast about how we really want to talk about authors and use their names. You know, we don't write the books, even though we feel like the characters are such an important and integral part of our daily lives and like how we live. But earlier in this podcast, we had talked about ACOTAR. ACOTAR is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. It's a series that she wrote quite a while ago, but we wanted to make sure that we talked about her authorship in those books.
She also wrote Throne of Glass.
She did. And Crescent City. She's written a bunch of other books as well.
That's pretty much it.
But for 39 Clues, the author who originally started that series is Rick Riordan, who had also written the Percy Jackson series and a bunch of other stuff. But the 39 Clues was written by a few Scholastic authors. They kind of came together and wrote this really cool series.
And they had a pretty solid, unified voice throughout the whole books, or the whole series so far, which is really cool to see how they were able to like connect them all. And then with each individual author, they do stand out with which character they deem as important, or like how their internal monologue works. And it's really fun, and I'm glad I'm reading it.
That's awesome.
What are you reading right now?
I have been devouring The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. They go crazy. They go stupid. Like I'm audiobooking them all. I'm a huge audiobooker. I've rented them all on Libby. Libby is a really cool app where it's basically like a library for audiobooks and ebooks as well. It's really cool.
Support your local libraries. Go get a card.
Yeah.
You don't even need to use it. Just, it's good for them.
And it's
free.
good. It's good for, everyone. Everyone needs more books, and support local bookstores, support all that kind of stuff. So,
yes, ma'am.
The Lunar Chronicles is like a fairy tale retelling. So the first book follows Cinderella, that whole story. The second book is Little Red Riding Hood. Fourth book is Rapunzel. Fourth book is Snow White. And so, as you go through the series, it's not how you'd imagine it to be. It's a sci-fi dystopian where there's cyborgs and a pandemic, a global pandemic, and I know, never experienced that before. So it doesn't
follow the typical fairy tale like plot. Like she's not trapezing through the woods to her grandmother's house.
No, but there is a part of the second book where she is trying to find her grandmother.
Oh, where you at, Grandma?
I know. It's like really cool. So like in Cinderella, there's all of these main plot points of Cinderella that happened in Cinder, but they're not clear, you know, like
little vague.
This isn't really a spoiler. It's a big part of Cinder's whole personality, but she has some pieces of her body that are cyborg. So she has like a cyborg hand and a cyborg leg, foot situation. And so it's her stepmother and her stepsisters don't find her to be they're mean to her because she's not human. Like, you're not human, so we're not going to treat you like you're human. You're basically just another android that works around this house. And it hits a lot of interesting points. There's there's great diversity throughout the whole series. There's great disability like representation. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really great series. So I'm on the 5th book, which is a prequel. Basically, like, is all about the backstory of all the characters. So it kind of goes in chronological order on how they all got to the point in the beginning of their books. And then the 6th book, which is really cool, is about it's called Fairest. It's about the villain and how she got to where she is at the beginning of the first book.
Oh,
it's a really cool series.
That's so cool.
Read it. Marissa Meyer is an incredible author. I love her writing style. Each character is so specific, like their voice, you can hear it, you can feel it. It's really cool.
See, I'm not usually for a fairy tale retelling.
No.
Like, Throne of Glass is technically, it started as a Cinderella retelling, but not at all.
Yeah, no.
So does it have, like, the same, I don't know, happy endings? Like, la 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 la.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, I wouldn't say in the, maybe at the very end there is, but more often than not, there's always some crisis happening between everyone. And so in the first 2 books, it has Cinder and basically the Prince Charming like person, Kai. And then in the 2nd book, they are also a part of that book. So you'll get their point of views as well as the next 2 characters. So
the story starts with Cinderella, air quotes, and Prince Charming, and then it just continues through the other books, but it adds on characters.
So like the main characters of the 2nd book are Scarlet and Wolf, but you also get point of views from Cinder and Kai as you go on. It's really cool. Really cool. Love multiple point of views.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Real, always and forever.
Yeah,
let us know what you like and what you think and
what you want to see from us.
Because as much as we will just do things, it would be nice to have some more direction than what we think would be good.
That's real.
My neurons only fire at like 35
They're working so hard. I'm really proud of you.
Smooth brain energy over here.
That's okay. It's all good. Yeah, we hope you really enjoyed this episode of Last 2 Pages.
And we'll see you on the next page. Yeah. Thanks for watching. You're listening. Thanks for listening.
Real.
Oh gosh.
That was okay. I was waiting for you to go, and I was like,
I didn't know what do you mean? What did you want me to say?
Before I said, and we'll see you on the next page.
What was I supposed to say?
We'll see you on the next page. I was like, thank you for listening to Last 2 Pages.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I blacked out. Okay, you can just cut after that then.
That's fine.